everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today we are going to redo Thingamajig for the third time. Now, if you haven't seen how I built this boom on the front of my John Deere backhoe, I'll put a link up here, you can go watch that video. Today I have my helper Luke. Say hi, Luke. Hi. And if nothing else, this big extension arm has been a gigantic jungle gym for all of the kids to climb on. You want down? All right. Go play. But today we're going to modify this extension arm, this thingamajig on the front of my John Deere backhoe to get the panels up on the roof of my barn. Now those panels are 23.5 feet long and they're about 3 feet wide. They're not real heavy, probably around 50 or 60 pounds a piece, but they're extremely cumbersome and I'm one guy working all by myself. So here's my idea. I'm going to put a series of arms, just like this one here, and one about halfway back. Then I'm going to put a wooden frame on it so that the panels can sit on this and I can raise them up high. Now, not to fear, back here in the back, I'm going to build up a stop so the panels can't slide back when I lift them up, and I'll put some kind of wooden lip all the way around it to carry it. Now, this is extremely temporary. This is just to get the roof on the barn and then it's coming off. I was talking to my oldest son the other day and he asked me, he says, "Dad, when are we going to take this off the front of the backhoe so we can use the backhoe again?" And I said, well, son, as soon as we get the roof on the barn, we'll be taking this off and I'll disassemble it. What do you mean disassemble it? I said, well, we'll cut everything back off it and it'll go back to just being a pole. He said, "Dad, we can't do that." And I said, "Why not?" Of course, playing along with his, hear what he had to say. And he said, "Well, Dad, we need to use that to build our water tower for our windmill." It's a rough day when a 7-year-old outthinks you. Once we're done with this project, I will take the framework that I'm about to build off of here. We'll disassemble it, take it off, and set it aside, probably in the new barn, for when we get to building that windmill. So let's get started on this project. First things first, I've already pre-marked where I want to mark this all out. It's at 15 feet, it's right here. If you watched my other video, I used this center finder. It's called a Curvo Mark. You can see me use it in the other video. And basically what this tool does is it helps me find the center of the pipe and mark it. So now I know where the center of this pipe is, and if I use this continually all the way down to the end, all my marks will line up in a straight line. And it's essentially a level with a center punch in it. And then we use this in the other video. This is just a pipe wrap. Honestly, you could use a tape measure, and what it does is help measure round objects. Ah, dadgummit. You know what? That reminds me of something. Hang on a second. I ordered something the other day, and I want to give it a try. So, I actually meant to get these out earlier and talk to you about them. And it reminded me because one of the drawbacks when you're marking metal, you always carry a Sharpie in my breast pocket, and whenever you're trying to hold something and you got to use your mouth to pull the cap off and mark something, you always wind up either getting a mouthful of grinder dust or dropping the cap or getting Sharpie all over your hands. The latter of that is not that big a deal, especially if you do this kind of work. But I saw something the other day and I grabbed it. I ordered one online. I don't know. If you're a fan of Micro, he was the host for Dirty Jobs on Discovery Channel. He's one of the guys I follow. You can link to him if you look at the channels I subscribe to. One of the reasons I follow Micro's channel is he supports all the vocations and job training, especially for people who can't get training in skills like welding, machining, mechanicking, carpentry. He uses all the proceeds that he raises off the channel. He sells a lot of stuff that he's gotten over the years from Dirty Jobs, and all the proceeds go to the Micro Foundation to help underprivileged people who don't have money, to go to trade schools and learn a skill. And I think that's really important. One of the things that he put on there, and I don't buy most of the stuff, but I thought it was really cool, is a company called Revmark has come out with these little pens, and they're just a Sharpie style pen. They're not a Sharpie brand, but they came out with this little cap, and this cap is pretty cool. It's like a little holster. And the idea behind it is you clip it on your belt, right? And it's one-handed. When you need a Sharpie, you can just pull it out. And it's a one-handed deal like that. Here's the pens. They're Revmark. They're made by Revmark. If you go to Micro's channel, or the Micro Works Foundation, you can find the video on these. I tried them out. I'm going to let you know how I like them today. So far, I think they're pretty awesome because, quick draw. So let's get back to work here. We'll put the pin on my side. That already is a lot easier. I do like that. Yes, I know this is old rusty crusty metal, but it's what I had and it was free. And the idea here is going to be, we're going to do the same thing we did right there. We're going to weld on a couple of arms just like this. We're going to put a piece across here. We're going to do the same thing back there. We'll pull a string on it. We'll create a riser so we can put all three of these on the same plane, put some metal framing on it, and call it good. I don't remember what this angle was here. What I'll do is just take my little angle finder here. We're at about 50 degrees. So we'll mark out 50 degrees here, roughly. I can already tell you I'm kind of digging it. And then we're going to repeat the same angle of about 50 degrees. So I've got the angles on both pieces. I'm going to transfer these out with a square, and then I'm going to jump over to the bandsaw and just cut them out rough with the bandsaw. Again, we're not making a picture frame, so it doesn't really matter that we get them precise. We're just kind of trying to chop off material and get it out of the way. All right, well, we got a welding apprentice here today with me. He wants to help out with some welding. So I got two pieces cut. I cut the top piece. They're ready to go. All I've got them is just temporarily clamped, equidistantly spaced from the center. I have my marks that I marked earlier. I'm going to stand them up, and the only thing I'm going to do, and I know it's pretty rough measurement, but I'm going to put a level on it just so that I can compare the front to the back and get them pretty close. Cover your eyes with your helmet. You ready? You ready? Our bubble's level. You know, our angles may not be perfect, but let's be honest, this is going to be used for about a day and a half, 2 days, whatever it takes me to get that roof put on there, and I'm going to chop it off. All right, well, we got this one done. We're level on spot. I'm going to put a couple more welds on it. Move down and do the one on that end, and then the only thing we got to do is build a riser. So let's get some welds thrown on it. Cover your helmet. So here's where we're at. We've got these two pieces 2/3 of the way welded up, and I've pulled a piece of construction string across to give me level how high my riser needs to be. And if I put a tape on it, I am exactly 5.5 inches. So my risers need to get the top of my angle here to 5.5 inches. Now the angle I'm using is 1/8 inch. So it'll be, 5 3/8 inches. I got to cut two little risers, 5 3/8 inches. Then I can weld my angle across there, and essentially we'll start laying the wooden framework out. Okay, so I cut my two risers. You'll see they're 1/8 of an inch off the string, which is perfect. So what I want to do is put a quick tack in one corner. And then check square real quick. We're good. So I have these pre-marked off the center. I center marked it, and then I put a mark off each side. And if you look, this is just scrubbing the string, which is perfect. That's right where I wanted it. So a couple little tacks to hold it in place. All right, so I'm real happy with that. I'm gonna take the string off it, get a drill, and drill a couple of holes along here so we can put a wood screw, and then we're going to start building our frame. We've got all the frames built. I've got my carpenter's tool belt on. compound miter saw set up out there. We're gonna start laying the wooden framework out for this. A lot of this is just stuff that I had left over from building the barn, so it's just lumber that I have. If I was building it separately, I might design it a little bit differently, but this is a one and done kind of thing again. So we're just gonna get on it, get it done, and make the best out of what we have. So my first piece is 14 inches, and I got to put a joiner scab on it, 3 feet long. I can hang it off the back just a little bit, we'll be good to go. We are getting real close to being done with this. I am happy with the way it came out. Apparently he's happy with the way it came out. You happy with the way it came out?
Yeah, and most typically we have to go to both schools.
Okay. Inside to inside here is about 37.5 inches. That gives us about 1.5 inches of movement of the panels. The panels are exactly 36 inches wide. There's a nice heel on the bottom down here. Everything is ready to put the panels on here and get them up on the roof. Got 9 panels loaded, which is a couple more than I planned on, but I just wanted to make sure that even with the extra weight, we were okay safety-wise. I like it, we're good. We'll probably stick with 6. The hydraulic lines on that tractor are old. I'm pretty lucky tomorrow I got somebody coming to help me because these are 23.5 feet long. Not too terribly heavy, they're about 60 pounds a piece, but up there on the roof when you're balancing, there's not a lot of room for error with this. If you get it wrong by 1/16 of an inch on one end, you're off by 4 or 5 inches on the other. While I'm at it, I got the roof ladder up in the tree. You see that little black thing right there? That's GoPro mount. I got up there and screwed the GoPro mount up in the tree. Don't freak out, I didn't kill the tree. It's only a 3/4 inch drywall screw. Holding it up in there, I'm gonna put the camera on stop motion. You'll be able to see some progressive laying of the sheets. The first couple are gonna go real slow. And then hopefully after that, JB and I will start cooking with gasoline and get this thing partially dried in tomorrow. Concerning the marker, the RevMark marker that Mike Rowe promotes, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up. It worked well. To be perfectly honest, the only thing I would probably change in this is put a little bit bigger hook in the bottom so that when you clip it into your belt and you pull it up, sometimes it has a tendency not to catch the bottom edge of the belt. But it is so handy. It is so much easier to pull this out. It was a great idea. It's one of those things where, why didn't I think of that? But obviously RevMark thought of it, they did a good job. I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up, and I'm gonna probably buy some more here for the shop. That'll wrap it up. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Tell them see you real soon.
See you real soon.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and like us on Facebook. Please, somewhere down below here is a link. See you soon.